Howdy, folks. Craig Lavati here with the Houston Museum of Natural Science and the Beyond Bones podcast, Zoomcast, whatever you want to call it. For today's episode, we were talking to Kavita Self, the Senior Director of the Sugarland campus and the George Observatory, which just reopened a few days ago. Kavita is going to be talking to you about all of the new fun things you can expect out at the George and at Sugarland. It's very sweet. Check it out. Howdy, folks. Craig Lavati here with the Houston Museum of Natural Science. This is once again another episode of the Beyond Bones podcast, Zoomcast, YouTube thingy, whatever you want to call it. How you doing? Today we are joined, as always, by my amazing co-host, Kat Havens. Kat, how you doing?
Good. Coming to you from the Crab Nebula.
I was gonna say, are we paying you mileage for traveling out there, or do we pay for that flight?
What is it, like 36 cents a mile now? I can retire.
Yeah, just you should probably not even come back. Not that you should, but I would stay out there.
That's not very nice.
No, I mean that like in a way, like I would rather be at the Crab Nebula than in Houston.
Kavita, I think he's going to be nicer to you.
It's so appropriate, though, your background for what we're going to talk about. I love it.
Exactly.
I'm jealous. I need a nebula in
that
my background.
Person right there talking right now with the white background is Kavita Self, the Senior Director of HMNS and Sugarland and the George Observatory, which just reopened. We're really excited about that. Houston's really excited about the George reopening. This past weekend, I understand, Kavita, you were very busy.
We were. We had such a great response. People were so excited. We did timed ticketed entry, and we sold out almost immediately. Wow. So definitely there has been a lot of pent-up excitement and demand for the observatory, and we're glad we're reopened. And
the weather was really good.
It was perfect. We had a clear night. It was cool. We had all kinds of people come out. Folks who were visiting the park, people who made the drive just for the observatory. They brought their families. And I think we ranged from a 4-month-old all the way, up from there. So, it was really great. We saw a really big cross-section of people come out.
As you guys know, we are selling time tickets to get inside over there. Obviously, due to social distancing, the pandemic is still happening. So we are still trying to keep everybody safe. We're trying to keep, the capacity, as low, but it's still comfortable for everybody. Right. So I think we're sold out the next few weekends. I don't want to lie, but go ahead.
We're sold out this upcoming weekend, which is our second weekend of reopening. And going forward, we will be open on Saturday nights for public stargazing. Mm-hmm. But we will continue the timed entry and the ticketed entry, as you said, for the next, foreseeable future until things improve and we can start opening it up a little bit more.
So it's Friday nights, Saturday nights.
Well, Friday nights will be for private groups, okay. And, for specific reservations, bookings. And then Saturday nights will be the ones that you can just buy a ticket online and come out for. And
what's cool about the observatory, and one of the key components we'll get to in a minute here, is that it's inside the Brazos Bend State Park. Yes. And Brazos Bend is a beautiful park. I mean, there's, I don't want to scare anybody, but there's alligators there.
Lots.
So they're not actually in the observatory or anything like that.
On the way to the observatory, though.
Every now and then you'll see a big old 6-footer out there, just sort of like sunning itself, checking it out, going, what are these people doing? Yeah. So, if you want to go up there on a Saturday, if you're lucky enough to be able to get tickets, you can make a day of it inside the park and then go to the observatory, check out, what's going on up there and get a day on the ground and a day in the sky.
All right. That's I have a question, Craig.
Yes.
Kavita. So if I were to get a ticket for Saturday at the observatory, what might that look like? So I get my ticket. What would that include? What's going on activity wise or the
So that's a great question. And actually, I'm going to back up just a little bit to talk about the park as well. Our friends at the park are so supportive of the observatory. I think they're as happy as we are that we've reopened. They're really just great partners. And you would actually start with, in addition to buying your ticket on our website, also buying a reservation to visit the park, because that is also a capacity issue. So make sure that you have both, that you have your reservation to get into the park, as well as your ticket to come to the observatory. And what that includes, so, we've just come out of an extensive renovation at the observatory. And not only did the physical infrastructure get updated, the deck was resurfaced, the dome roofs were repainted, we replaced the railings on the deck, but we also updated all of the exhibit area that's inside the observatory. We've invested in a lot of remote viewing technology to help us in this age of social distancing to be able to see what the telescopes see.
Audience all at one time.
Exactly. So there's like a ton of different stuff that's included with that ticket. And the timed part is the part that you spend on the deck, where there are all these different stations. So you get to see what the telescopes in the domes are looking at. You get to see what the deck scopes are looking at. We have experts out there who are doing laser tours of the night sky. That's actually one of my just most favorite things. All of a sudden you see this green laser just like shoot past you into the sky. It's really kind of cool. And then we're going to have folks downstairs inside the observatory talking about meteorites and about light pollution and about our exhibits on the moon. So there's a lot of activity going on all around. And we just ask that you come out, have fun. It's a little different than past experiences at the observatory, but we're confident that folks will enjoy what they're doing.
Can you bring your own telescope with you? Like to learn, you buy these telescopes and then you're like, great, I've got this really expensive piece of equipment that I have no idea how to use. Can
yes.
you with me? And are there people there that could help me?
Absolutely. We're really going to encourage folks to bring out their own telescopes, bring out binoculars even, and we'll have, again, experts on hand to help you set it up, help you figure out how to find things to look at, how to identify the things that you're looking at. So yes, absolutely. There will be a little astronomer's corner set up as well.
We have some of the best volunteers, I think, on the planet to keep with our space theme as far as the George Observatory goes, from basically our naturalists to our astronomy-based volunteers. Would you agree with that? Just some amazing. The interesting thing has been getting to know all the volunteers there. We draw volunteers from 7 astronomy clubs around the Houston metro area. And they have supported, some of them have supported the observatory since it opened. So for 30 years, they've been coming out, they've been sharing their love of space, and they're just as dedicated to it now as they were back then. So yes, the volunteers are a huge part of the experience. They bring out their own gear. They're happy to share that with the folks. They're happy to share their expertise. So you'll get to meet a lot of our great volunteers out there as well.
What are some of the things that have been sighted out there, inside those telescopes?
This past weekend, we actually spent a lot of time talking about Orion. We spent a lot of time on the moon. I saw some amazing shots of the moon. It's something that you kind of take for granted because it's always there, right? But then to be able to see it in such detail and to have somebody there who really knows what they're talking about to tell you what you're seeing, that was really, really interesting for me. I learned a lot while we were there. So, those were the 2 main things that we looked at this past weekend.
There's something about, I was out there a few years ago before we closed, for a lunar eclipse overnight. And I remember getting to look, and it was when you can still look into some of I looked into the light piece, the eyepiece. Thank you.
Right.
The eyepiece of our biggest telescope, and that's the one right now you can't actually look into right now due to social distancing, but we're still broadcasting what's out there. And I remember looking at something, and there is just something magical about seeing something so far away through that little eyepiece. It was very humbling. I remember even driving home late that night, 1:00 in the morning, just going, wow, I can't believe I saw that. Like it's different when it's on Instagram or YouTube or something like that. When you get to actually see it with your eyes, it was very powerful.
It does something weird to my body, and I don't know if everybody's the same, but when I look through a telescope and I see it, I almost feel projected there to some extent, because you're kind of a little almost off balance too. It's very different than watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a full body experience, at least for me. I just think it's fascinating.
Right. And while we have had to go to using monitors right now because of the capacity issues with taking people into the dome, those are tight spaces in there, and we can't fit as many people in there as we would like to. But we're going to keep figuring out ways to make this experience immediate and personal and just exciting, and so, as I was saying earlier, while it may not look exactly like past visits, you're still going to have a great time. And we're going to keep evolving how we present, the programming. So hopefully as things improve, we will be able to open up more over this.
Well, I know you're doing a great job, because I had friends that went out there this past weekend, and they were ranting and raving, and just so ranting and raving sounds wrong, but you know what I mean? They were they weren't
in a good way.
They were
in a good way.
They were happy. No, they loved it. They had a great time. The kids were engaged. And from what I hear, there was kids from like 4 months all the way up to the elderly. So it was a real span of all kinds of people, which I think is a cool part too.
Yeah, exactly.
You're getting out of town too. There's very little light pollution out there. So you're seeing things that you don't see like in the normal night sky even if you just live in the suburbs here.
Like stars.
Right. And actually we have a new exhibit on light pollution actually that really talks about the importance of preserving dark sky spaces. And the effects that it has not just on wildlife, but also on humans, to be able to have a time where you are not inundated by artificial light is really important for all of us. And so to be out there in the park, again, we're so fortunate with our location because we are far enough from Houston where we can have more of a dark sky. It's, there is still light that you can see from Houston. The light dome does extend out there, but
I'm going to turn into Craig and say, I'm going to be sort of ethereal. I don't even know the right word. We spent most of humanity being fascinated by the sky, right? Being sky watchers. Our world revolved around the sky and the seasons and everything. And now we can't even see stars, most of us.
Right.
Live. So this is, like Craig said, such an important thing, right? It's so important.
And everyone that is out there, the volunteers that are out there, they are extremely passionate about this as well. And so, if you're looking to learn more about what you yourself can do to help promote, dark skies, come out and talk to our experts out there. They will definitely help you on your way to trying and make a difference in this as well.
Can I be your guest out there, Kavita? And I may even take Fred with me.
Yes, absolutely. I would love to have you all come out.
Yeah, I'm supposed to still come out there soon and record one of my vignette, my little videos out there with the Brazos Spin the park rangers, I guess, those two guys I met a few days ago.
Back to you, Craig. Will you take me on a field trip?
Yeah, we're gonna go out there. We'll probably go out there like late afternoon into the evening to where we can gaze at all the stars and stuff like that.
I want to see the raccoons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's speaking of animals that I also have tattooed on my body.
Oh my God, you have a raccoon?
Yeah, that's another. We'll just do let's do a Zoomcast one day about that. We'll just save that. That'll be a separate outtake thing.
Doodle bugs, butterflies, raccoons.
Raccoon.
Those are what I know.
Dimetrodon.
I need like a card, like a game card.
Bingo. Let's play tattoo bingo.
Speaking of Brazos Spin Park, you are also the senior director of HM&S Sugar Lake. And part of that now includes, you got Erin Mills down there now at Sugar Land.
Yes. We're so
Speaking of
happy.
tattoo people.
Yeah. More tattoo bingo.
There we go.
No, we're thrilled. One of the big things that we launched over spring break was our new nature program, because we built and debuted an outdoor learning center, like an outdoor classroom space in our butterfly garden, which is different than the Cockerel Butterfly Center. This is actually an open air garden with, nectar and host plants. It's like a teaching space to show people how they can do this themselves, teach visitors about life cycles, about pollinators. And we're so fortunate that we were able to get Erin Mills, who used to head up the Cockerel Butterfly Center. She is now heading up our nature programming out here and just doing amazing insect encounters, teaching people what they need to do to attract pollinators to their own gardens. And we had a lot of fun rolling that out this past week. So you'll have to come out and check that out too, Craig. And
she's also going to be utilizing Brazos Spin Park going forward. I guess later on in the year, It sounds like now she has an entire state park at her disposal. When it comes
Actually, we're starting that in April.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. So
she's going to be doing a hike, a nature hike in the park. We're calling it Bug Life on the Brazos. And it's all about identifying bugs and having a field notebook and learning to record what you see, to identify the plants that you see. And that's coming up on April 3rd. So right around the corner. And again, so much great support from the park. We're excited to be able to offer nature-based, experiences. Yeah, for people to try out at both locations.
I know that, especially when the pandemic started, we started thinking more at the museum, and you were part of this evolution of thinking that, let's start taking these experiences outdoors. If we can't be inside as much as we want to, if capacities are low, or capacities need to stay limited, let's start doing stuff outside. And having the park right there is just perfect.
Beautiful.
Right. It kind of forced us into, we love to think of ourselves as being, the local science resource, right? But what does that mean when people can't necessarily come to you or interact with you in the way that they've always done? So we just went back to the drawing board and came up with different ways to still present science, to still engage with it, but to kind of think of it as, what can I find in my own backyard? Right. What can I find in my own neighborhood or in the park down the street, And that's really where this all grew out of. And then to be able to bring Erin's expertise on board. She's an entomologist and knows I've learned more about bugs in the last few weeks than I have ever done. And it's fascinating. We've actually converted an exhibit here into a bug zoo.
Oh,
so yes. And so
I need to come. Okay, I'm coming out there.
And that's at Sugarland, right?
Yeah, at Sugarland, yes. Okay. So, over the next few weeks, you're going to be able to see all kinds of critters out here. And it's really fun.
A sneak peek, a spoiler about who may be in our little new insect zoo? Or is that top secret still?
Well, I can share that we have Rosie, the tarantula, the Chilean rose-haired tarantula. So she's here. And we also have a scorpion who plays hide and seek a lot. He's hard to find.
He plays hide and seek inside an enclosure, folks. He doesn't play hide and seek inside the museum.
There are rocks and things in nature, so I can imagine they do the same thing, and we provide them the best habitat.
That's right. That's right. We're always like, is he under the rock? He is under the rock. So
we do not have scorpions walking through.
We do not. That would be a very exciting
Scorpion adventure.
to the museum. Yes, no, we do not have roaming scorpions, but we have all kinds of, beetles and hissing cockroaches. And as I said, you can come see Rosie. You can try and find our scorpion in his cave, in his display enclosure. And there's going to be more and more added on, so this is something that will continually evolve. What you can see when you come will always be different.
Well, y'all are supposed to have her out there too. Yeah. I'm jealous for lots of reasons because she's an amazing educator. I just love Erin.
Yes.
And she's right next to her home. She lives in Sugarland with her family.
I know. We love that. So she's one of us now, a local resident. Yeah, it's great.
I think she told me something one day. She was like, I never thought I'd be one of those suburban moms, because she was used to being downtown and everything. And she was like, now I'm a suburban mom. I live in Sugarland and I play with bugs. And it's like,
it happens to all of us. I remember when I left the loop kicking and screaming to come out here. But you know what? It's such an amazing community. And, it's so family oriented, it's been a great transition, but it is different when you're used to not living in the city versus coming out here.
And we do love our Sugarland Museum. It's our Sugarland campus. It's, just right down 59 from the Herman Park campus. Yeah. It's smaller. It's a little bit easier to dive into. Not that HMS Herman Park is too big, but it's a little bit more hands-on too, as hands-on as it can be right now during the pandemic. And it's just a little bit more bite-sized, especially if we have little kids.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is, that's one of the things that I always talk about is, especially now with the observatory being opened, is how cool it is that HMNS has 3 completely different experiences for you, right? And so you have this amazing deep dive, just follow every passion that you had at Herman Park. And then, like you said, here at Sugarland, it's a different experience. It's more, if you have a couple of hours and you want to do something really interactive with your kids, you come out here and you can see all kinds of things that are designed to be very, very geared towards that age group. And not that we're only for children, but we definitely have a lot of things that appeal to that audience. And then to be able to go out to the observatory now as well and have a completely different experience. So, we've got a little bit of something for everybody.
There's dinosaurs there too, guys.
There are. And summer camps too, and scouts.
And we just got a new dinosaur as well. So we have a new Stegosaurus here, and we are actually in the process of trying to name him or her. Him.
That's right. That's the one that we used to have at Herman Park, right? So
yes.
She just moved down there.
She did. She's moved down here, and we are running a competition to try and name her. So yes. So if you come visit us, you get to fill out a little slip with your suggestion, and who knows, you could name her.
I was going to say, what would be a good Sugarland dinosaur name. Like Dulce would be good.
Sugar the Stegosaurus.
Sugar. I know. I like that.
I like Dulce. Dulce is a pretty name.
It is a pretty name.
Candy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's sweet. So I don't know. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I need to go. That's the coolest thing. And I have to give some love to, one of your counterparts down there, Drayton at Sugarland is just
awesome.
All-star, just content creator. Everything that he does down there is just beautiful. And he's, I want to say he's like y'all's mascot, but talk about somebody that, on our squad here that just, he wraps his arms around that museum and for dear life. And he just loves it. And you've fostered a really great culture down there.
You know what? He is so amazing. He loves what he does so much. And he's such a great communicator and an educator. He knows so much about, the things that he's super passionate about. And I can tell you chemistry is one of them. But he loves to share what he knows with people. So when you're visiting, you'll just randomly be approached by this tall guy with glasses. Don't be scared. He's going to tell you some amazing things. Talk to him, engage with him, because he will blow your mind.
Interpret for you.
He will blow your mind. One of my favorite things about my workday, honestly, is when I'm sitting at my desk and I look up and Drayton's standing in the doorway and he says, "Do you know what I was thinking about today?" And then off we go, and it always blows my mind.
He does that on our Zoom content meetings too, when we sort of plan out with the next week or so of how we're going to present things to you guys out there.
Right.
And then he has this big long thing. And I think we all kind of like start taking notes like, okay, this is going to be on the test later, I think. So yeah, this is going to be good. This is good. So
waiting to take the test.
At one point, my husband, who also loves science, and Drayton were having a physics conversation, not directly speaking to each other, through me. So like Drayton would tell me something, I'd go home and tell Sean about it, and then he would reply and I'd come back and tell Drayton about it. I only understood maybe 10% of what they were talking about, really. But this went on for months and they just had a blast with it, So we take science seriously. We live this.
Yeah,
there's weird test competition.
This is a practice. This is not just a job. This is something that we feel very strongly about.
Well, and it comes through in all the programming, especially in Sugarland, especially at the George now. So I'm excited to go check out, all three domes over there again, check everything out again for the first time. And guys, so how do people get tickets for the George?
Go onto our website, www.hmns.org, click on the George Observatory. You will see a page that explains the changes that have happened, what you're going to find when you come. And it has a link there for you to click on to buy tickets. Tickets are being added as we speak for April onwards. So if you weren't able to get one of our opening weekend tickets, fear not, there will be many more opportunities for you to come out on a Saturday night and come stargaze with us.
Be patient with us. We're trying to get as many people out there safely as we can. Just be patient with us. Take advantage of, checking out the state park that's surrounding the observatory.
Right.
Wear a mask, have a good time, bring your own telescope. Santa Claus brought you a telescope. Now is the time to actually pull it out.
Come learn how to use it.
Brush off the dust and use the telescope. And you can get some really good night shot photography out there too, if you really try.
Yeah. And actually we will be offering some really cool photography things with Mike at the observatory soon. So we're in the process of trying to put that together as well. So
Mike is our photographer.
Yes.
So everybody knows who also teaches like our smartphone class that we've done here. And I'm apparently obviously is going to be adding to what we're offering, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, and so again, the idea is come out and be open to all these new experiences, because we're really trying to put things in front of people that are going to be interesting and fit in with the circumstances that we're in right now, but they're going to keep evolving. They're going to keep changing, and we're going to keep adding stuff. So keep checking back in with us.
So the Georgia Observatory, folks, a great place to take your family, take your loved ones, get out of town. Lord knows it's been a crazy year. It's good to just, flap your wings out there, stretch your legs. It's a nice place. And then, of course, Sugarland, the HMS Sugarland campus is beautiful. Check out the website, too, for scheduling and details on there, because their hours are a little bit different than the Herman Park campus.
Yes.
And maybe if you're lucky, you'll get to see one of the Scorpions down there, or Kavita, or Drayton, or Aaron.
I don't think any of us compare with the Scorpion, really. But yes, if you see any of us, we will say hello, and we'll be happy to see you. The Scorpion's really cool.
Air high fives and elbow bumps. We're
right.
We're good at that at the museum now. It's elbow bumps. We used to do air high fives from 6 feet away, but now, since more of us are getting vaccinated, it's the elbow bump now.
That's right. That's right.
Craig, if I told you that I have night vision goggles, would that make you remember to bring me when you go?
Yes, that's good. That's really
you're going to leave me behind, and I'm going to have something that's going to make you remember.
So you can look over, and then you can see a little, like a raccoon just.
Yeah, I've got the green. It's very exciting.
We should probably let's record the Zoomcast out there.
That would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. It'll be like a whole Joe Rogan on the road type thing.
Completely. He's going to push me to the alligators. I can see it now. That's what the real plan is, Craig.
Honestly, we're getting super off topic now, but I love alligators, but I'm deathly afraid of them. So anytime I go out to the George over there, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see an alligator. But I know that I would just be like,
I'm afraid of you.
Yeah, no, and I've touched alligators. I've been around them. I've gone to the gator experiences and stuff like that. But
the alligators.
Man, I've gone on some gator tours, anyway, I was about 5 feet away from a 10-footer one time, and talk about just going, I am nothing compared to this big slab of muscle that could just tear me apart. So yeah, that's exciting. So so go out to the George and duck the alligators, guys.
There's plenty of room and respect.
There we go, guys. Thank you, Kavita. I'll let you get back to work, making the George as beautiful as we can. Kat, thanks again. And bring me back something from the Crab Nebula if you can, like a keychain or a magnet or something.
You told me I had to stay here.
No, but I mean, if you're going to come back, you bring me
I'll bring you a mug.
Yeah, bring me a mug.
Or all I got you is the stupid t-shirt.
There we go. All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.